Glad to have you back. So the furniture making business is an act of taking raw materials or semi-processed materials into well-crafted arts of furniture. And joining me to do just this, I have standing by is Mrs. Feishola Abiru, the MD, H&Y Furniture Manufacturers. Glad to have you on the show.
Glad to thank you very much, Joshua. I'm happy to be here with you.
All right. So let's go deeper into business. To a layman on the streets, understanding what furniture business is basically taking materials, pieces of wood, putting them together into well-crafted arts of furniture. But where and how does plastic and metal come into this?
Plastic and metal, they are different.
Okay.
I am in the business of producing wood furniture.
So strictly wood?
Strictly wood, because my machines can process wood.
Okay.
But sometimes we work with metal, but mostly wood.
Okay. So when it comes to the furniture making business, I'm sure there are various value chains, attached to the business, which we also know as outbound operation. We have the operation itself, we have the outbound logistics, we have the marketing, sales, and services. Where in this area do you niche yourself?
Well, for us, we are furniture manufacturers, and we have a team of highly skilled men and women who all come together to work together and to satisfy the client. For example, we have a team of designers, we have engineers, we also have a logistic team, and we also, that we have a whole array of staff.
Okay, what's the entry barrier like for you as an industry player?
For me, I don't know if I told you my story. I started business about 25 years ago.
Okay.
And when I started by working with local artisans. Then I had to, because I didn't have the resources to set up a furniture factory. So I had to work with local artisans who had hand-working tools. And initially it worked well, because I was actually quite amazed when I started working with them. Their skills, their understanding of working with wood was actually really interesting at that point in time. But then we ran into problems when we scaled up, where we had more customers, and then they couldn't meet up with the demand, so we had to set up a small cottage workshop. So if that's what you're asking, well, in that case, you can make do with some hand tools, and that also helped for a little while, because then you can only do so much with little hand tools. For us, after that, we approached the Bank of Industry, and they helped us by getting some bigger machines like the circular saw, the band saw, some drilling machines. With that, we were able to produce more. But then we realized that we weren't getting consistent output, because we were working with manual machines. So no matter what, we weren't able to get the 100% perfection in multiples. So we in 2016 we approached them again that we needed to scale up. We needed semi-automated machines, because our customers had increased and they needed more, and we needed, within limited time. So we approached them, we got the semi-automated machines, and they've been able to give us more consistent output. We started the business in 1997.
Oh, 1997?
Yes.
All right, so for someone who is, watching you right about now, because of course time have really gone by, and with the cost of inflation, such one might be thinking, how much on an average would he or she want to invest? How much do you think could really be invested, even if the person is starting on a very small scale?
I wouldn't know. Like I explained to you, that would be very difficult for me to answer, because I started by working with I didn't go straight up into manufacturing.
Okay.
I had to work with local artisans.
Okay.
That means I had to work with people who already had their tools.
Okay.
And like for
So
example,
the cost was very minimal.
initially,
Okay.
but when we set up a cottage factory
Okay.
a long time ago,
Okay.
when we set up the factory a long time ago, we had to get some machines, but things are a bit different because, for example, now our factory, we're able to serve budding entrepreneurs. Like for example, if you have a project and you don't have the machinery to work, you know, you could outsource the production to us, and then we can produce for you. Because production comes, like I said earlier, production comes with a whole lot of, you know, different moving parts. You need, you know, your team of logistics, you need architects, you need engineers, you need, like for example now, for the maintenance of our machines, we have a department that is dedicated to that.
So how much does it cost you on an average to maintain your machines?
To maintain my machines,
Yeah.
we're going, I mean, that's a different ballgame because I got my machines from Italy. Sometimes the Italians have to come, you know, because they're semi-automated machines. There are times if we have problems, they can actually see our machines from Italy. So we work with the engineers in Italy.
Okay.
And sometimes, maybe periodically, they come over to, you know, help us with
So
servicing.
that means you bear the cost for them to
Of
come
course,
over when the case
yes,
arises.
which is very expensive. Ideally, if we had but at the moment we're trying to see how we can work with some technical schools. You know, some of the professors or heads of departments have visited our factory to see how they can, you know, support us technically.
All right, so you've gone past the stage of establishment. What was it like scaling up?
If I understand your question right,
Taking it up to the standard you want to attain for yourself.
We're still growing. We've not gotten there yet, but I'm very pleased with the progression. And like I said, it's always been a response to our customers. When our customers grow, we respond by trying to meet up their needs. And we're grateful to God that we also have the backing of, like, maybe the Bank of Industry, Polaris Bank. Our bankers have been of tremendous help to us, you know, in the process of growing.
All right.
And I've also had some support from family, and you know.
All right, so when it comes to conceptualization of your designs, speak to us about it.
Well, over the years, I said to you earlier that we've been in business for quite a while. So over the years, we've come up with our standards. You know, initially at some point, about 10 years ago, we had almost 1,000 different products, but we've had to narrow down now, and we've had to narrow down to almost, I think, we have almost like 200 variations. Sometimes, no, we have about 20 products, but you know, the different variations from each one. So we have, you know, like 200 variations. So we've specialized in those products. We've specialized in them, and it took us, so it's from experience as well as from designs, you know. So we come up with ideas, we see the products that are in high demand, and then we tailor them to meet to be used by so many people.
All right, so on an average, what's the turnaround time if one gives you an order for an office furniture?
That's very interesting. We don't do the B2C anymore. We do more of the B2B. We do more of business to business. So now we look for orders in hundreds, in thousands if possible.
Why don't you do the B2C?
Well, the B2C, we started off the B2C, that was working with customers,
Okay.
but now we work with businesses. So we produce, like we work on projects, you understand,
All right.
you know.
So when it comes to business, there are general challenges, but to you, what are those peculiar challenges? What were those mistakes, financial decisions that you make that didn't turn out well when you started out?
If we're talking about challenges, there are so many challenges. in doing business in Nigeria, unfortunately. And a lot of entrepreneurs are having to do so much, even things that we are not supposed to bother ourselves with.
Like?
Yeah. For example, training, like unfortunately, we don't have a depth of skills, you know, well-skilled individuals in the country, which is very sad.